Hello everyone, I'm Lev Gavaglanin, bringing you this week's 3 Minutes with Ingber&Weinberg. So, yet another bill has been introduced during this period of the Covid-19 pandemic. Senate Bill 1159 seems to be gaining traction in the Senate, while a previous bill, which you may have heard of, SB 893, has now been stalled. Interestingly, SB 1159 seems to mirror Governor Newsom's executive order, which he issued earlier in May, which essentially applied a rebuttable presumption of industrial injury to any worker who contracted the virus while they were employed outside of their home. Now, I suspect this new bill was introduced because the governor's order is about to expire on July 5th. The governor's order did cast a very wide net, but the language in this current bill at least seems to hint that the legislature is trying to maybe narrow down and better define which workers might be eligible. SB 1159 proposes or wants to create a rebuttable presumption that an injury or an illness, in this case being the coronavirus, if it developed while a critical worker was employed, is automatically work-related. Now, the problem I see here is that the bill doesn't really define what a critical worker is. I think most people will agree that doctors, nurses, medical practitioners, first responders, and the like, they're likely critical. But this also leaves a lot of people wondering if what they do is deemed critical. This also begs another question: whether or not an essential worker is the same as a critical worker. Another issue is that this bill requires that a worker who contracts the coronavirus do so as a part of the work they're doing for, now this is the important phrase, an essential critical infrastructure employer. Once again, this is another vague kind of general statement, and it raises a lot of questions. We ask, what is an essential critical infrastructure employer? Just like in the previous example, most of us will agree that medical workers and first responders are probably a part of this critical infrastructure. But what about grocery workers? What about food suppliers, food producers? What about manufacturers of necessary goods like toiletries and face masks? And the fact of the matter is, we just don't know yet. The last issue that this bill really raises is that there's a lack of a concrete sunset clause or an actual expiration or an end date. The governor's order is set to expire on July 5th, but this particular bill doesn't yet have an end date, which leaves us wondering, will it expire? When will it expire? Is it going to be in 2020? Will it be in 2021? Or will this be indefinite until we find some form of vaccine? I guess we'll find out hopefully soon enough. Until then, check back next week for another 3 Minutes with Ingber&Weinberg.